Tiamat was killed off too early in my opinion. We were first introduced to Tiamat in Godzilla x Kong, A New Empire. This was surprising to me because I had no idea she was going to be in the movie at all. She wasn't in any of the trailers I had seen, and nobody had mentioned her yet. So it was super cool seeing a Titan from the comics be adapted to the big screen. Unfortunately though, she was killed off as soon as she had entered the screen. She fights Godzilla for like 30 seconds before dying, and it's just a shame because we could have gotten so much more from her. Being the first time we meet Tiamat in the Monsterverse, it's disappointing that it's also her last, or as far as I know it, her last. This leads on to a bigger problem I have with the Monsterverse. I'll make my own separate video about that. But in this video, I want to talk about how I would change Tiamat scenes in Godzilla x Kong. Or scene, really, she only gets one. Before we meet her, I want the character to give a brief description of her, maybe a monologue that says, Godzilla may be king of the monsters, but Tiamat is the queen of tides. Perfectly adapted for water, no titan can come close to being her in her element, except Godzilla, and even he has trouble. Being extremely territorial, she will attack anything she lays her eyes on. If a titan is unfortunate enough to find themselves in a situation where they're at open sea, if Tiamat is nearby, they better hope land is too. For Tiamat holds the fate of anyone who dares enter her waters. I think something like this would just be really cool, as it gives us some more background on who Tiamat is and gives her a more larger and better presence within the entirety of the Monsterverse as a whole, which would elevate the story in Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire, because if Godzilla is willing to fight Tiamat in the water in her element, then whatever he's preparing for could be a threat never seen before. Again, it seems like this just fleshing out the Monsterverse would just be really cool, and giving more details about who these creatures and titans are would just, again, would be really cool and something I really want in the Monsterverse going forward. I would also change the fight itself. I would have it drag on for a bit longer, like at least a minute, and have it be a more back and forth fight, with Tiamat even getting the upper hand for a little while, until we hear the iconic sound of dorsal plates readying to release a massive pulse. Knowing how dangerous this is, Tiamat tries to make an escape, but is only somewhat successful, as she's hit by some of the pulse. Knowing that she can't take another hit like that, she swims away, defeated but alive. This would allow Godzilla to win, and the plot to move forward, and Tiamat to stay alive and be used for future installments and battles in the Monsterverse, which is something I'm pretty sure everyone would want and wouldn't mind having. So yeah, that's what I would do with Tiamat if I were in charge of the script for Godzilla x Kong. But what do you think? What would you do with Tiamat if you could? Did you like the video and how I portrayed Tiamat and what I did with her? And if you did, please consider hitting the subscribe and like button. With all that being said though, have a nice day and bye-bye.